कौन पढ़ेगा?
وتسعى في هوى النفس وتحتال على الفلس وتنسى ظلمة الرمس ولا تذكر ما ثم ولولا خطك الحظ
वला तज़कुरू मा सम्मा, उसको बराबर पढ़ना जरूरी है. हाँ,
ولولا خطك الحظ
ला खतक नहीं लगता है माना चक्कर, वलो ला हज़क
ولولا حظك الحظ
हज़ू
حظ لما طاح بك اللحظ ولا كنت إذا الوعد
वला कुंता
ولا كنت إذا الوعد جلال الأحزان
जलल अहज़ाना तख्तम्मु
تغتم ستذري الدم الدمع إذا ينتهى الجمع
لا जमआ थला टूबर
يقي في عرصة الجمع ولا خال ولا عم كأني بك تنحط إلى اللحد وتنغط وقد أسلمك الرهط إلى أضيق من سم
أضيق
إلى أضيق من سم
من سمي
إلى أضيق من سمي وقد أسلمك الرهط
هناك الجسم ممدود
هناك الجسم الممدود ليستأكله الدود إلى أن ينخر العود ويمسي العظم قد رم ومن بعد فلا بد من العرض إذا اعتد صراط جسره مد على النار لمن أما فكم من مرشد ضل ومن ذي عزة ذل وكم من عالم زل وقال الخطو قد طم فبادر أيها الغمر لما يحلو به المر فقد كاد يهل العمر وما أقلعت عن ذنب ولا ترك.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وتسعى في هوى النفس, and you strive in the desire of your soul, your ego. وتحتال على الفلس, and you scheme after money. وتنسى ظلمة الرمز, but you forget the darkness of the grave. ولا تذكر ما ثم, and you don't remember what is there. وتسعى, سعى يسعى سعيا means दौड़ लगाना, to rush, to hasten, to strive. فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. هوى النفس, hawa means desire. So your carnal desires of the ego, you strive for them. You want the best phones, best gadgets, best car, best house, money, job, easy money without going to work, and eating out in restaurants and everywhere. وتحتال على الفلس, احتال يحتال احتيالا, حيلة करना, to devise a scheme, a strategy. So you make schemes to earn money. Al-fals jama fulus, money. وتنسى ظلمة الرمز, and you forget the darkness of the grave. Rams, asal mein, the mitti which is left at the bottom of the grave after you dig it is called rams. And no matter how much you try to take it out, but there'll still be some soil left at the bottom. You can't take everything out. So that remainder of the soil is called rams. So by rams, what is meant is qabr. Ramasa yarmisu ramsan is used for dafana yadfinu dafnan as well. So watansa zulmat al-rams yani zulmat al-qabr. Wala tazkuru ma samma, and you don't remember. Zakara yazkuru zikran. Ma samma, samma means there, hunaka, ma hunaka. Okay, yani. Ayn al-kitab, al-kitabu samma. kitab is there. So someone is used to pinpoint इसमें इशारा के तौर पर हुनाका के तौर पर वलौ लाहظك الحظ, if good fortune had looked upon you, لما طاح بك اللحظ, then your staring with the side of your eyes would not have destroyed you. ولا كنت إذا الوعظ, nor would your condition be such that when wa'az and admonition jalal ahzana taghtammu is removing and wiping out griefs, you continue to grieve and sadden. ولو لاحظك, لاحظ يلاحظ ملاحظة ولحاظا के माना लिहाज करना, to look up at something, to gaze towards something. الحظ حظ جمع حظوظ بمعنى نصيب, فنسوا حظا مما ذكروا به للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين. حظ means share, portion. If nasib and good fortune had looked at you and been favorable to you, you had good nasib, then لما طاح بك, طاح يطيح طيحا के माना हलाक हो जाना. And when it comes with ba, it becomes mutaddi, it means halak kar dena, to destroy someone. So lama taha bika al-lahzu. Lahzun is from lahaza yalhazu lahzan, which means to look with the side of the eye. The eyes have two sides, one which is close to the nose, right? The one which is close to the nose is called ramak. Ramaka yarmuku, right? And when Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam would get up in the morning, he would wipe his eyes at where they meet the nose. And the other side is called lahaz. So, sorry, ramak maine bol diya, mukh. So there's two words to be connected to eye. Mukh, jama ma'aqi, and lahaz. So mukh is that area connected to the eyes, and lahaz is the side. In Urdu, it's called kanakhiyon se dekhna, right? You know, to look with the side of the eyes like this, right? So one is you are looking straight, right? But then you look like this, and other person doesn't realize where you're looking. But let's say some hasina is going past, and you look at her like this, you stare at her and you go down. When someone sees you, that's called looking at some pretty girl with the side of your eyes. So this behavior of yours of evil staring and looking sideways here and there at hasinas and khubsurat girls, it would not have destroyed you. وَلَا كُنْتَ إِذَا الْوَعْظِ, nor would your condition be that when preaching, wa'az means preaching, admonition, jalal ahzana is removing, wiping out the griefs, you are taqtammu, still grieving. Jala yajlu, jilaan means to remove, to get rid of something. ولولا أن كتب الله عليهم الجلاء لعذبهم في الدنيا ولهم في الآخرة عذاب النار. Al-Ahzan is plural of huzn. When wa'az is removing the huzn and sadness, تغتم اغتم يغتم اغتماما كمعنى غمگين هنا, to be مغموم, and you are still غمگين. And تغتم is connected to ولا كنت, ولا كنت تغتم إذا الوعظ جل الأحزان, ولا كنت تغتم إذا جل الوعظ الأحزان. This is how the sentence should be. Do you understand it? फिर से पढ़ लो. If good fortune had gazed down upon you, then staring is removing the sadness, you are still being sad and grieving. ستثري الدم للدمع إذا عاينت لا جمع يقي في عصة الجمع ولا خال ولا عم. Soon you shall weep blood, not tears. When you see that there is no jama'at and company and group which can save you and protect you in the Maidan and the court of assembly gathering, Maidan Hashar, and there is no Mamu and no Chacha. ستذري أذرى يذري إذراء كمعنى بهانا. ذرى الريح التراب زروا ذرى يزرو زروا كمعنى to scatter, spread out. سورة الزاريات के अखीर शुरू में है ना, والذاريات ذروا فالحاملات وقرا فالجاريات يسرا فالمقسمات عذرا. तो والذاريات means scatter. ستذري, you will soon shed and spread and let off and let flow and weep. الدم, blood. للدمع, not tears. The hadith says that in Jahannam, the Jahannamis will weep and their tears will dry out, so they will start weeping blood, and they will weep so much blood that rivers will be formed by it. If ships are to be sailed in there, they can't be sailed in it. This is why Huzur said before that, Ibku, فَإِن لَمْ تَبْكُوا فَتَبَاكُوا. Cry. If you can't cry, then pretend to be someone who is crying. Because there will be a time when people will cry and cry and cry and run out of tears, and then blood will come out of their eyes. So soon you will shed blood, not tears. إِذَا عَايَنْتَ, عَايَنَ يُعَايِنُ مُعَايَنَةً means to see. عِيَانًا, عِيان means see right before your eyes with your ayn. La jam'a, that there is no jama'at, no group. Fi arasat yaqi, waqa yaqi wiqayatan means to protect. There is no group which can protect. Fi arasat al jam'i, in the maidan of the gathering. Arasatun jama' arasat means a huge maidan, arena and courtyard, field like football field. And jam'un means jama'a yajma'u jam'an, to gather, assemble in the court of assembly, which is Maidani Hashar. And wala khala wala amma, and there is no mamu and no chacha. كأني بك تنحط إلى اللحد وتنغط وقد أسلمك الرهط إلى أضيق من ثمي. It is as though I can see you falling into your grave, and you are cringing whilst your kinsman and your group and your family have handed you over to a place which is narrower than the needle of the eye of a needle. كأني بك, كأن is harf tashbih, and كأني بك is used for visualizing something, meaning كأني أراك وأبصرك, as though I can see that scene and scenario right before my eyes now. It is as though I can see you. تنحط إلى اللحد, إن حط ينحط انحطاطا كمعنى جرنا, حط يحط حطا كمعنى جرانا, to throw someone. So تنحط, you are falling down, إلى اللحد, into your lahad and qabr. Lahad, qabr. Lahad means where the qabr is, dug a little bit onto side and the body is placed inside is called lahad. And straight cover is called shaq. وَتَنْغَطُّ, and you are shrinking. In ghatta yanghattu in ghitatan, ghatta yaghuttu ghattan ke mana beechna, to hug and press someone. So in ghatta means you are pressing yourself, meaning you are cringing, you are shrinking, and you don't want to go in the qabr, you want to stay out. And waqad aslama karrahtu, wow is haliya, is hal meke, whilst your rahat is a group less than 10 people, and your group, meaning your family, your friends, your kinsmen, have handed you over. Aslama yuslimu, Islaman means to hand over. They have committed you, they have handed you over to a place which is more narrower and tighter than the eye of a needle, meaning qabr, because qabr becomes tight upon the buried person until the ribs interlock with one another. This is why it's called tighter than sammi. Sammun over here means the needle's eye, where you put the thread in. It's very narrow. Quran says, man, لا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط. So sammul khiyat, the needle's eye in which you put khiyat. Khiyat means thread. The needle's eye for thread. So that manzar and that scene is right before my eyes. After death, he is now moving on to the qabr. هناك الجسم ممدود ليستأكله الدود إلى أن ينخر العود ويمسي العظم قد رمى. There, the body will be stretched out so that worms may devour it fully, consume it, until the wood becomes hollow and the bone becomes crumbled. Hunaka ismi ishara, there. Ishara is towards the grave. There in the grave, al jismu mamdood, the body is stretched, meaning it's laid flat, bare. Mamdood, madda yamuddu maddan, ke mana khenchna, to stretch. The body is spread out and stretched. Why is it spread out and stretched? Liyastakilahu dood, so that kire makode can eat it properly, consume it. Istakala yastakilu istikalan, from akala yakulu akalan. Akala to eat, istakala to eat properly, fully. And a dood, plural of dudatun. A dudatun means kira makoda. So the worms may eat it. You know, as soon as the body is laid bare in the grave, worms start creeping up. Have you seen worms coming out of mud? Those muds are inside. तो उनकी तो ईद आ जाती है, मजा आ जाता है उनको. And one athar of Safwan ibn Sulaim Zuhri says, the first thing to split open in the qabr is the belly, stomach. The intestines and kidney and liver and everything splits open because of the heat inside the grave. And worms start eating all that. And then the rest of the body is decomposed. So he said, if you can put in your belly only halal stuff, you should do so, because the first thing to split open in the qabr is the belly. So the kira makoda and the worms will eat it properly and maze le karke khayenge kiwe ila yankhar al-ud, until the stick becomes hollow. Stick becomes hollow means the body. Over here, al-ud means body. Your body, was strong like a piece of wood and the trunk of a tree. But even that strong body, healthy body, that able body will become nakhira yankharu nakharan. नखीर यनखरु नखरन के माना खोखला हो जाना. So the the bones of your body becomes cochly and hollow. And ويمسي العظم يمسي أمسى يمسي إمسان here means صار يصير. يمسي means يصير. يصير العظم يمسي العظم قد رمى. The bone will become رم يرم. رمن means रेजा रेजा हो जाना. और क्या तर्जमा किया था मैंने? And the bone becomes crumbled. Ramma yarimu, to be crumbled, to go into pieces. If you open a grave after 6 months, there'll be nothing there except separate bones. Even the skull is separate, and the bones of the body are separate. And slowly, after a year or two, the earth eats up the bones as well. The hadith says the only bone that remains is the coccyx bone, from which the body was formed in the mother's womb. So the earth does not consume ajabu zanab that remains in the soil. And from it, the body was formed in the mother's womb, and from it, the body will be formed on the day of Qiyamah. So all the bones will become crumbled. وَمِن بَعْدُ فَلَا بُدَّ مِنَ الْعَرْضِ إِذَا اعْتُدَّ صِرَاطٌ جَسْرُهُ مُدَّ عَلَى النَّارِ لِمَنْ أَمَّ. And after all this, it will be necessary to be presented to the court of Allah, when that bridge will be prepared, and or let's say the sirat is prepared, the road is prepared, the bridge of which is stretched on the fire for those who would aim to cross it. ومن بعد يعني ومن بعد هذا كله ومن بعد القبر, after years and years and years lying flat in your grave. Who knows? Those who have died in the past, 5, 6, 7,000 years. So how long we going to live in the qabr? Maybe 100 years, 200 years until Qiyamah, 1,000 years. So after all those years, it is necessary. There is no escape. La Buddha means no escape. Buddhun means escape. No escape, meaning it is necessary. Min al arzi. Arada ya'ridu ardan means to present. So over here, presentation, meaning presentation, being presented in the court of Allah, standing in front of Allah for hisab, is necessary. إذا اعتد اعتد يعتد اعتدادا के माना तैयार करना, to prepare. When إذا اعتد صراط, when that sirat and the road is prepared and made ready, جسره مدة, the bridge of which is stretched على النار, on the fire, liman amma, for those who intend. Siratun is naib file of urtudda, and it's also mawsuf, and jasruhu mudda is its sifat, and mudda ala nari is fell with the harf jar and majroor and connected to jasrun. إذا اعتد صراط جسره مدة على النار liman amma. Amma ya ummu amman ke mana qasd karna. Amma ya ummu, to qasd, to aim, to intend. Imam Sahib in the masjid is called Imam Sahib because he is maqsood. Because people aim for him and do what he does. When he goes in ruku, they go in ruku, sidda, they go in sidda, stand up, they stand up. So they aim for what he does and follow him. That's why he's called Imam. And Imam is bima'na ma'moom. Like libas is bima'na malbus. So amma ya ummu, to do irada and intent and aim. From there comes Imam bima'na ma'moom. Libas bima'na malbus, maqsood. فكم من مرشد ضل ومن ذي عزة ذل وكم من عالم زل وقال الخطب قد طم. Then how many a guide shall go astray, and how many honored will become humiliated, And how many learned ones will slip up and they will all say, Al Khatbu qad tamma. Musibat is huge. Murshid, Rehbar, guide. Arshada Yurshidu Irshadan, to um, show the way to someone. And Rashada Yarshudu Rushdan Rashadan means to be on the right track. Sabil al Rashad. Hayyi lana min amrina Rashada. So, how many people who used to guide others will go astray? बहुत से रहबर, बहुत से बुजुर्ग, बहुत से बड़े बड़े लोग गुमराह हो जाएंगे, भटक जाएंगे. وَمِنْ ذِي عِزَّةٍ ذَلَّ. And how many honored people will become zalil and humiliated. They were of huge honor in the dunya. Firaun, Haman, Qarun, and they had lots of people running around them, protocols, soldiers, but they will all become zalil. They will be alone, no one with them. وَكَمْ مِنْ عَالِمٍ زَلَّ. And how many scholars and learned people who were learned, alim, mufti, shaykhul hadith, but zalla, they will also slip up there in Maidan Hashar because of some mistakes they might have done. Allah bachaye, Allah bachaye, Allah bachaye. وَقَالَ. And he will say, Qala, the file of Qala is alim, the last one. Or it could be referring to Murshid, the Izzat, and Alim, all three of them. And they will all say, Al Khatbu is Mubtada, and Qattamma is Khabar. وقال الخطب قد طم. خطب جمع خطوب بمعنى calamity, musibat. And طم يطم طما means to be huge, terrifying. فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى, बड़ी भूचाल आ जाएगी, the great calamity, the terrifying calamity. They will all say, Al-Khatbu qad tamma, the calamity, the musibah, the tragedy is huge. हो गया जी. क्या पढ़ रहे हैं यहाँ मकामा में 11th मकामा? Haris ibn Hammam went to the graveyard to bury someone, and when the person was buried, he saw an old man rising from a hilltop, and he started admonishing the crowd that you are here burying this person, but soon you will go back home and get to your own business, and laughing and merrymaking. And then he sang this poetry, أيا من يدعي الفهم إلى كم يا أخ الوهم تعبي الذنب والذم وتخطئ الخطأ الجم أما بان لك العيب أما أنذرك الشيب وما في نصحه ريب ولا سمعك قد صم. So we are reading that poetry. أما نادى بك الموت أما أسمعك الصوت أما تخشى من الفوت فتحتاط وتهتم. And we reached over here that he said, अभी आज का तर्जुमा कर लो जल्दी से. Put your finger. Put your finger, follow जल्दी. وتسعى في هوى النفس. And you strive for the desires of your ego. And you make schemes to acquire money. And you forget the darkness of the grave. And you don't remember what is there. The azab qabr, the snakes and the scorpions and the fire and the munkar nakir and the questioning and everything. You forget all that. And if good fortune had gazed towards you and looked towards you, then your staring with the side of your eyes at beautiful girls would not have destroyed you, nor would your condition be such that when preaching and admonition is removing the sadness and grief from people, you are still remaining saddened and grieved. Soon you will shed blood, not tears, when you see that there is no majma, no company which can protect you in Maidane Hashar, and there is no mamu and no chacha. It is as though right before my eyes I can see you, that you are falling down into the grave and you are cringing, and your kinsmen and group have handed you over to a place which is more narrower than the needle's eye. There the body will be stretched out so that the worms can eat it fully and nicely until the, the stick becomes hollow, meaning the body, and the bone becomes crumbled. And after all this, the qabr, it is necessary to be presented to the court of Allah when that road is prepared, the bridge of which is stretched on the fire for those who intend to cross it. Then how many guides will go astray, and how many honored will become humiliated, and how many learned scholars will slip up, and they will all say the calamity is huge. अच्छी तरह याद करके आना जाओ.